Brazil got slammed by Argentina. Let's go ahead and break down the highlights and see where Brazil went wrong and where Argentina went right. Football is a game played not just with your feet, but also with your mind. It's honestly more important to have great game IQ than to be a physical player or have a great first touch. If you don't have anything going on up here, you'll never survive in the game of football. In this video, I'm going to show you every little detail in the Brazil versus Argentina game and break down why certain players made certain decisions, because decision making is crucial if you want to be a decent soccer or football player. Alright, so we're going to start off here with Argentina's first goal. The first thing I want to note is that Brazil is playing with 2 DMs and 4 forwards, so it's only 2 in the midfield. Argentina is playing with 5 midfielders. Really it's 4, but still 4 versus 2, huge mismatch. And you're going to see why in the coming clips. So first goal here, the first thing I want to note is no one's pressing. There's no pressure on the ball. Vinny's just watching. And all 4 of these defenders from the Brazilian team are ball watching. None of them are looking at Tagliafico, who's making a run. So let's see what happens. Long ball. Now here I want to highlight Marquinhos. Way too far from Thiago Almada. And you're going to see why that's an issue and what would have happened if he was tighter. Let's see. Boom, Thiago. Okay, and I also want to highlight Joelinton, not goal side of Julian Alvarez. Let's see what happens. Boom, Almada turns because Marquinhos was not tight enough, and he plays this through ball, which would have been intercepted had Joelinton stopped his run, Alvarez's run, or closed down the passing lane. Alvarez gets it, gets a little bit lucky, but scores. But you can see tactically where Brazil went wrong. There was a few individual errors, but it all stemmed from no pressure on the ball, which stems from poor structural positioning and lack of an idea. The players don't look like they've been told to press. They don't look like they've been told to hold a deep block either. So that's why it's important to always, as a manager, instruct your team what you want them to do. Otherwise, this happens. All right, here we have Argentina building out, touching it, and let's just pause it right there and look at the structure. The pressing structure is terrible from Brazil. Vinny's not cutting off the passing lane to the other center back. If he did, let's say ideally they all pressed how they should. Vinny cuts off this pass. Cunha steps to the defensive mid. Then that only leaves one option for him to try and split them to the right back. But if that did happen, Rodrigo would jump and take it, and then they would counterattack. So this is just an example of what I would have told them and showed them in a game analysis session. But because when one of the parts of the puzzle isn't working, it's very evident that the rest of the puzzle isn't going to work. It needs to be a very well-oiled machine that all works together when you're pressing. And Brazil definitely did not press well in this situation. So Argentina can build out. DePaul, again, this is where Joelinton is. This is where DePaul is. So much space. If I were the analysis, I would tell Joelinton, step higher. I understand that our manager, Dorival Jr., who, in my opinion, doesn't really know what he's doing, only played 2 midfielders against Argentina, who plays with 5 midfielders, and that's pretty much the core of their team. I understand that, but you can't let him turn here. Let's see. Look at that. So much. This is a midfielder's dream to have this much space to turn into. If Joelinton had jumped, you would have left him, yeah, but at least you're saying, Romero, you got to play that through 1, 2, 3, 4 of us. It's going to have to be a great ball. If you could get through us with one pass, fair enough. But this is too easy. Let's see. It's not even a good turn from DePaul. But because there's no pressure on his back, he easily gets out. Argentina go out the other side. They quickly turn their build-up into attack. And then, again, same thing. Alvarez, too much space. Shouldn't have the time to one-touch that back. Let's see here. Pause it. And look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Brazilian players all bunched up. The whole right side of the field is open. And Rodrigo, being a forward, doesn't have the defensive awareness to check his shoulder and see that the right back's making a run. Let's see what happens. Boom, exploit the space. A bit lucky, but they worked it well. And you know, it's not like they did anything crazy. It wasn't amazing interplay or dynamic runs from Argentina. It was really just exposing the weakness in Brazil's tactics and formation. All right, here we're going to see Brazil's goal, which I want to say is Romero's fault because he's got one option. He could play it in here. Yes, you could say his teammates should be moving into the space a little bit sooner, but still, let's see what happens. He dilly-dallies, loses the ball, and it's a good finish from Matias Cunha. I won't take that away from him, but there was no tactical play, build-up play behind this. Really, it was just a poor mistake from Romero. That was really all Brazil had the whole game, was just this one chance from poor possession from Romero. All right, let's look at Argentina's third goal here. They wanted to cross it in, blocked. And I'm going to pause it right there. How there are 6 Brazilian defenders still not pressing out, not stepping up after they cleared and blocked the cross is criminal. Look at this space. This has got to be at least 20 by 20 yards of pure open grass for Enzo Fernandez to just pick up his head. And I want to highlight McAllister. Great run here, but through the defense. Those runs from a midfielder behind the opposing defense are really dangerous. And you see oftentimes, look, Joelinton just lets him go. I know in Newcastle, Eddie Howe is not letting that slide. So why in Brazil does Joelinton not track the runner? But nonetheless, it was a great ball and a great finish. But again, really poor from Brazil. So much time and space given to the Argentinians and not even tracking the runs. Let's look at the second half here, the fourth and final goal. It's a free kick. Argentina take it quickly. Let's pause it right there. Right back, way out of position. Still has time to recover, but it's poor positioning from the right back here. And let me pause it right there. This is how poor Brazil played. This is an easy sweat, pass across, easy tap in. Tagliafico misses that, and you're like, okay, we've got Marquinhos, we've got the left back. They've got a head start to the ball compared to Simeone. You're like, okay, yeah, that's an easy clear. At this point, you're like, he's still behind the fullback. Marquinhos is in good position. This is going to be easily dealt with. And Simeone somehow squeezes that in. And, you know, you can look at football. You can look at all these plays and try and just dissect it tactically and really look at it from a game IQ perspective. But this goal was purely down to desire. Simeone just purely wanted it much more than the Brazilian defenders. They were very lackluster and unresponsive even when they had a head start to the ball. It's unacceptable. I'm not Brazilian, but if I was Brazilian, I would be absolutely livid with the players and the manager, because starting with 2 midfielders against 5 midfielders is just amateur hour. I mean, especially against the world champions Argentina, where their midfield is arguably the strongest part of their team. I just think Dorival Jr., the Brazilian manager, totally got it wrong. And I do think that going forward, he's not the right man for the job. And come the 2026 World Cup, if he is still in charge, I would be absolutely shocked. But that's it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Something new, a bit of analysis. I do enjoy it. Improving the game IQ, the soccer IQ. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And I do, in the future, want to start analyzing possibly some of my viewers' games. If you have any games that you want me to analyze and make a video about it, just go ahead and comment down below or DM me on Instagram or email me, whatever you like. Let me know and I will make a video analyzing your clips. Until next time, peace.